Let me get a sip of coffee first. Let's go see if we can find this thing, because I don't even know where it is. Hey, here's my my gear closet. Think I have a problem? Maybe I should clean some of this up sometime. Okay, I think it is over here. Okay, I think it is in one of these cases here. Oh, look at that. First one, winner, winner, chicken dinner. Let's see how much cat hair is on this thing from the cat just sleeping on it. There it is, kind of how I remember it. Missing a string. You know, I gotta admit, it's a pretty cool looking guitar, so I'm actually kind of interested to take this down and string it up and see how it sounds. All right, so here it is. Let's get this guy some new strings. I don't remember it sounding particularly awesome, but it looks pretty cool. All right, let's do that. So now comes the point when I need to decide what strings to put on this guy and what tuning to put it in. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put this into C standard, which is the tuning I typically use on my guitars. And for that, I'm gonna be putting on Stringjoy strings. Now, if you haven't heard of Stringjoy strings, they are excellent strings, even better people. If you wanna check them out, there's a link for that in the description below. They even do custom sets and stuff like that. And it's just a really, really cool company, and I'm really happy to be working with them. So if you need some new strings and you wanna check out Stringjoy, go down into the description below and click the link. You'll be helping out the channel, and you'll have my eternal gratitude. I mean, even look at the inside of the packaging. It's signed by hand. Pretty cool. I like this sort of stuff. I like this handcrafted, artisan feeling, you know, type of product. And not only do they seal the strings, but they individually wrap them as well. I originally bought this guitar as sort of like a novelty just because I wanted a Jaguar style guitar. And I think this is from the first year that these Squier Jaguars came out. If not, you know, it was very, very recently after they started making Jaguar style guitars under the Squier name. And so I bought one just because I was like, oh cool, like I could finally have a Jaguar style guitar and don't have to pay over $1,000 for one, because you know, it's probably not a guitar that I would play a lot, but I see these popping up on Instagram all the time, and I see metal dudes playing them, and it just makes me wonder, like, am I missing something? It's actually intonated correctly. Okay, let's get this guy plugged into something. What's up guys, I have this Squier vintage modified Jaguar plugged into my Axe-Fx. This is a patch using the dual rectifier red modern channel being boosted with the grinder boost that is built into the amp block. So it's worth mentioning right away that like I'm having a pretty hard time getting this guitar in tune. And maybe it's just the fact that it hasn't been played in a really long time and I just pulled it out of the attic and the wood is acclimating, but it just does not really want to stay in tune. It sounds pretty gnarly, man. At the time I purchased this, I bought this new for like $280 or $300, and they sell them new for $500 now. And I've seen this particular model listed for up to $800, so, you know, kind of makes you wonder what's going on with these guitars. Let me read over the specs here real quick while you watch some B-roll. So this is a Squier vintage modified Jaguar. It has a basswood body, or basswood, whatever you want to say, a polyurethane finish, a maple neck, a 24-inch scale, and a C-shaped neck profile, a rosewood fretboard, 9.5-inch radius, 22 medium jumbo frets. It has two Duncan designed zebra humbuckers, stacked concentric volume and tone knobs. I'll show you exactly what that means in a second here. A 3-position pickup toggle switch, chrome hardware, vintage style tuning machines. I really wish they put modern style tuning machines on it, but that's okay. And a top loader fixed bridge. So one of the really interesting things on this guitar that I've never owned on any other guitar that I've had are these concentric knobs. So this is the tone knob here, and it's actually stepped. which is kind of cool. And then this is the volume knob, and each of these controls each one of these pickups, and then you have a 3-way toggle switch up here to switch between the pickups. The bridge is probably my least favorite part of this guitar. It just seems kind of cheap. I don't know how else to describe it. It just seems kind of cheap. And although I don't know if there's a retrofit replacement for it, you know, you might have to drill into your guitar and modify it to put a different bridge on it. It's definitely something I would replace if I was using this guitar seriously. Another thing I would replace if I was using this guitar seriously is these vintage tuners. Don't get me wrong, they're okay. They do their job, but they just don't really feel that great. And it would just be nice to have something locking on here, something that had a better ratio and probably would help the tuning stability a little bit more. But as far as the electronics go, I think the pickups are okay. Like, especially if you're into that fuzz type distortion, I think these are really good pickups for that. This probably wouldn't be my preferred setup, especially if I was using this guitar for metal. You know, I'd probably want some EMGs in there because you know how I am. And I would probably ditch these knobs and put in one single volume knob, but that is just me and my preference. A couple other things that I noticed from playing this guitar as opposed to, you know, one of my other guitars that you see on my channel is the string spacing feels quite a bit closer, especially compared to something like my Ibanez, which to me feels like it has the largest string spacing out of all of my guitars. But that is definitely noticeable on this guitar. And the other thing that is really noticeable is this 24-inch scale length. And you know, it feels really comfortable to play. I actually really enjoy playing a 24-inch scale length, but that might be also causing some of the issues with this guitar, which is gonna lead me to the biggest downside of this guitar is just the tuning stability. I've checked the nut. It doesn't seem like it's the nut on the guitar. There's two main things that I think are the culprits of why this guitar won't stay in tune. Number one is the bridge. So the bridge has a system here where you lock down the saddles using this little Phillips head screw right here. And to be honest with you, when you lock it down, I don't think they stay very well. I think the string vibration will eventually loosen this up and cause the saddle to move freely. And the other thing is possibly the tuning knobs. I just noticed that when I'm tuning with them, it's really hard to consistently change the pitch of your string. It seems to jump around a little bit and you always end up like being a little bit too sharp and then having to back down and then try and tighten up your string back to pitch. Alright guys, what do you think is going on? Do you think that these guitars are increasing in popularity, or do you think that maybe I just missed the boat or something like that? Let me know down in the comments below. As always, special thanks to all of my awesome patrons for helping me bring you videos like this one. And if you're interested in joining my Patreon, there's a link for that in the description below. And as always, if you like this video, make sure to hit the like button, consider subscribing, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.